Hi guys, so right now I'm going to be reviewing the last item I have for the new items Diamond Press brought to their site, mydiamondpress.com. This was sent free of charge for my review, and all opinions are my own, and any links I have in the description box are affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. Of course, with Diamond Press, it's the code VCDP that is considered the affiliate code, and it gives you 20% off your purchase. So thank you so much, Diamond Press, for offering that and for the items here. Really quickly, right at the top here, this is the last video I'll have before Diamond Press will have their own Facebook Live with giveaways and some charity, I don't want to say charity work, but charity donations, things like that. So you want to get in there and check that out. I'll have the link in the description box. It's going to be on their Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern. So that's 4 o'clock my time out here on the West Coast, and then you can figure that out for everyone else. But I know those two for sure. And I know people had a question about that, if it was Eastern or what time zone it was. The other question I got was, are these on HSN? And at the top of the video, I say mydiamondpress.com, but I didn't use the letters HSN purposefully because I didn't want people to get confused, but people still wanted to know about that. So no, these are on mydiamondpress.com. If they will be on HSN later, I do not know, but that's another question I've been getting. But for sure, in my opinion, it's a better deal on mydiamondpress.com. Okay, so check that out, definitely. So let's open this up. And this is the Slimline Dimensional Kit. It says it's called Celebrate. So let's check this out. Oh, I love these. So, oh, that reminds me, looking at this, before I finish my other thought, they do have the metal shims back in stock on mydiamondpress.com, and they are going to have the folders, these long folders too, guys. So definitely jump on those. I don't know, obviously how many they bring in, but I know everyone's interested in those, including yours truly. So make sure to check those out. The items will launch just around 7 p.m. If you want to keep checking, that's up to you. But I believe the plan is that they'll be there when they do the Facebook Live. So definitely check that out. I know I got that question too. People are like, is it going to be at midnight? I'm like, I don't know. That's not what I saw, but that's in the email. It basically says that they should be available around 7 p.m. So definitely check that out. Okay, so let's... Oh, that's so cool. They even come with the little acetate squares. Okay, so let's look at the sheet first, and then we'll look at the items, the pieces. That way it'll make sense when we go through. So, it's telling you to go ahead and cut down your card base, and then we have the die, I believe, with, whatever is wherever you want to put. So obviously it's interchangeable things we can put in there, and then it talks about the acetate, and... that's so great. Yeah. So Diamond Press always does this thing where it comes with foam, and then when you use your die for the foam, it's just cut perfectly for the size. So instead of, making like a little foam frame on your own, it'll just cut it. So that's really great. And then the confetti, of course, and then put your card together. So let's look at these things here. So they're showing, they have the little banner with the stamps that might go in there, your cute little rainbow, and the heart balloons. Yes, I love heart balloons. That's so cute. The little flowers. Some have layers, it looks like. They all do. This one has like a little circle. Little cloud, little sprig. We have the hearts, the stars, and then all the words that we can pop in and mix and match that way. So we do have the foam squares. I love it. The acetate. We have the metal shims, which is really cute. They're little squares. Oh, okay, so we have those. Let's check out the stamps. I usually put the stamps on the back of something. Here we go. So as you can see, the stamps are full cloud. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a full stamp, not just like the outline or however. Same thing with the little flowers, and then the little flower like accents. We have the string, I would say string for the balloon. And then all the different sentiments that we saw on the inspiration sheet there. Oh, that's so cute. Little background stamps with the little dots. These come in handy for all kinds of things. Whenever you want to get a little artsy, you can just take this off. You don't have to put on a block, and just get some ink on it and use it with your hands. And it really puts some really cute interest on a card base or page or however you want to use it. Again, the string there, and the little center for one of the flowers, the heart, and the rainbow. Nice size. And then we have that long cutting folder. I'm telling you, gotta grab those. And then we have this here. So when I first saw that in the inspiration sheet, I'm like, oh, it's kind of like the Your Possum one, Your Possum. But even though it has little squares, it's not cutting those little apertures. That's just a place for you to, a placeholder, right? So when you put your die in there, you know it's going to fit nicely and be spaced out really nicely. So that's what it looks like. It looks like it cuts the 3, but it doesn't. It just cuts the outer with a stitch, which is really adorable. And then, of course, you can layer that on any Slimline card. And then it has the pieces that you can pop in so that you're in the right spot. And then we have all the little dies for all the different coordinating pieces there. And then, again, Celebrate You, Yay, and So Happy for You. And then our confetti, which is so sweet, a square there, and then the other shapes, and then this is to cut your foam. So let me grab some paper and we'll get to work. Okay, before I go too far, I totally skipped over these guys. Hooray and Happy Hello. That can also be cut in there. So we're gonna start with our card base. Again, that's number 1, and basically whenever I do a Slimline, and it's the same thing they're showing there, is it's 8.5, so the same width as your standard H size paper, cut at 7 inches. Okay, so 7 inches off the 11-inch side, and we are going to score that at 3.5. And this is just white paper. I think I'm gonna go for like a rainbow look, as you can see here. There's not a lot of stamping going on in this one, but what I'm going to do is use that little confetti looking stamp and hopefully give it a rainbow effect. That's why I grab these little tiny guys, even though, like I said, Distress ink isn't my favorite to stamp with, because a lot of times it's a little bit watery, I guess what I'm trying to say. But I'm going to go ahead and put this down. I don't really want this to move, but I'm not gonna, it'll be okay. All right, so what I'm gonna do is stamp this on here, and a lot of it's not going to show because, you know, it's going to be in the background, but it'll be cute to kind of see back there. And I think I'm going to stamp it this way and maybe even in the opposite direction too. We'll see. But this is my card base. So let's see here. And what I'm going to do, you know, it's a little bit crooked. Maybe I'll go straight that way. I can just stamp and not worry too much. Also, it's confetti, so it doesn't really, you know. All right, so what I'm gonna do is start with my red. And the reason I use these little guys is because a larger stamp pad will get all over, and it's fine because you're gonna blend them in kind of like this together, but it does take up a lot of space. Yellow, G, green. I always say Roy G. Biv. Blue, I don't think I have indigo, but that's okay. We have blue. And our purple. And again, this stuff is super watery, so I don't expect that it's going to be like super crisp. I'm going to breathe on it since it's been a minute since I started with the red. It did move a little bit, so we'll see what happens. Aw, so cute. What I'm going to do is clean off this excess here and try to get that little corner stamped. So clean off, just in case, and clean off that little corner there. And what I missed here, I'm going to try to just see through it and try to get it stamped. Again, it's confetti, so it's not like the biggest deal, but there we go. There we go. And I'm going to do the same thing down here, but going in the other direction. I'll still do, you know, red, orange, yellow in the same order, and I'm just going to stamp it like down here. All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to do on this background. Look how cute. And they match up really pretty well when I turned it and went the other way. Is get a little bit of the blue ink and just bring it around the edges. Just to give it a little more something else, a little more sky feel, kind of rainbow. And then I'll clean this up and we'll start our die cutting. Okay, I'll be right back. So I pulled a bunch of paper that is like rainbow colors. It all came from one paper pack from Hobby Lobby. It's like their Brights paper pack and the heavyweight cardstock. So they do have a different type of green. I might even switch it out because this one looks a little bit too neon now that I look at the colors all together. But they do have a couple different oranges in there and like different tones, you know. So maybe I picked the wrong one for this one. So I will switch that out. But for our base card, I want to use these colors. And so for the very base, I am going to just trim this down. but I'm kind of following the instructions, but kind of not, because there's a couple things I'm going to do a little bit different. But so number 2 is to go ahead and pop in whatever it is that you're going to die cut on your paper. So I will do that. And I have not thought about what I want to die cut. And if I want it to go this way, or if you want your card oriented, you know, in this way or in this way. I didn't even think about that one. I think I'm still going to do long ways just because that's what I kind of had in mind, of course. But you can always orient it the other way. So happy for you, yay, celebrate you, happy hello, hooray, how cute. Let's do celebrate you and hooray. I just want to see about how wide my paper needed to be. I'm going to trim this down real quick. Well, let me make sure, because you know me, I like to eyeball and then be a little bit off. All right. Oh, my hands have ink on them apparently. We're going to do this, but I'm also going to frame it out, so it's not just going to be the cut in, but I do still want to use that cut in. So I'm going to do this, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do, just to get more of the rainbow feel in here. But we are going to put that there, and where is my tape? And I don't want this to move. I'm going to tape as much as I can. I don't like taping too much onto the paper because you don't want to tear your paper. But for this one, I really need it to stick and not move. And what's nice about the marquee is that you can hold on to it yourself, so you're pretty much guiding it in there. I'm going to use my cutting folder that I've already been using. I do want you to notice it is taking a beating a little differently than some of the smaller folders, so that's really nice. But let's put this on here. And again, a little bit sideways, just so that speed bump of being straight across is a little bit diffused by being a little bit sideways. You heard that speed bump, right? Boom. But, there we go. Someone thanked me, a couple people, for fixing my little squeaky on my machine. And I said, thank you for listening to it for about a year now. I should have done that much sooner. Let's go, here we go. All right, well, I'm gonna pop out all these little extra pieces. We'll clean it up. Cute, and look at that perfect placement, of course. And then we have this whole center area that we can decorate. So what I'm gonna do now, though, is with the red and, well, I already used the red. With the orange and yellow pieces, I'm going to make another little piece that I'm going to mat over on top of what we just cut. So let me show you what that would look like. And then, of course, with this one, we can cut with our regular machine. So I have Celebrate You on the top, and I want the orange on the top, the yellow at the bottom. And I'm going to take that square that is in here, and that is going to help me to cut this out to make a little frame. You can also just cut this out. This cuts our foam, but you can use that as a frame too, just with regular paper. It'll make you a little square frame. So there's lots of different ways to play with this. I'm just gonna mat this up completely like this. Tape that down. I was trying to recycle that tape, but you know what? It's not gonna work. Okay, there we go. And I'll do the same thing for the Celebrate You. I'll cut this out, and then I'll use this same square on the outside of this, and I'll be right back. Okay, just popping out the rest of those little pieces there, and here we go. And what I'm going to do with these, we'll just pop out the piece. I'll start with this one since we're here. And I'm just going to glue this to this. And if you want to drop shadow, I suppose you could just a little bit, but in this case, I'm just going to put it right on the letters like that. And I'll do the same thing for the orange one at the top. And I had mentioned the glue behind the hand trick, and someone said, whoa, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Basically, you just put glue on your hand when you have something small like this, and then just dab this into the glue. And maybe I'll do it right now just to get rid of some of that extra glue. And that just helps dissipate the glue on here, and it just works out real easy. So that's all that is. Let's see here. Just try to put it right on there. Yep. And I'll do the same thing with the Celebrate You at the top. Again, with the glue trick, because that one is thinner with the Celebrate part. And I'll be right back. Okay, my friends, so the next step is to die cut the acetate. We're on step 3. Now, these little acetate sheets are already kind of like little squares, but I'm going to show you what you're supposed to do, and then I'm just going to do something different. But it's just because they're almost the same size. I'm like, well, you know what? Might as well just take a little trim off it. But normally what you would do is you take your acetate, you would take the square die. So you're going to put your die face down, obviously, on the acetate, and then put this on one of the metal shims. There's like 5 in here usually or so. Take one of the metal shims, place that underneath, then place this in your cutting folder all together and run it through. Okay? If you want to go ahead and do that. And this is not for the OCD in us, I am just going to take this and cut a little piece off. Okay? Because why not? So I'm just going to take this and cut a little piece off the side. And really that's all you need to do. You don't even have to cut it in the height of it. So that's all I'm going to do, but that's just, I don't know, just to preserve my little folder a little more, but it's nice to have the square there. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back of this just to hold it down, but I mean, it's not going to move around too much. But we're just going to place this right on here. And I'll do the same thing for the top square. And I'll be right back. Okay, so I just turn it over just to kind of press down from the front also, and clean up any glue because the glue might seep out from in between the plastic and the die cut. And what I'll do is I'll put some weight on these guys. Okay, I'll put a little more weight here too. Just hold those down while I'm doing other things. So the next thing we are going to do, and I'll take a moment here, is to cut the foam. So that is step 4, die cut foam. And it's just as simple as taking this guy and a piece of foam here and running it through just like that. So I'll take this, I'll take a smaller folder, we don't need to use the big guy. And let me see, I'll use this one. So you guys know I always like to use my old folders just to kind of show you that even if they're misshapen or whatever, they're still going to cut. And actually, now that I think about it, we're going on to almost a year, right, of Marquee. This is my original folder right here. So many cuts, you can't even see what's going on. It's just a bunch of, and I still use it. But I think I can probably retire that experiment now. We can see that, you know, many cuts they're still cutting. And I'll just grab whatever's next to me next time. But a lot of times I would purposely go for that one just to show you guys that it'll keep cutting, you know. So now we have this little frame. You can use it for something else. You can just cut the strips and use the foam adhesive, which I'm probably going to use in a little bit anyway, like this middle section too. You still have that you can use. But we're looking for these guys. So I need 2 of these. So I'm going to cut it one more time. And I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm just going to turn that over and place this down. I was going to say, you can probably still use these guys, the extra piece for next time. And it'll just leave a little bit larger space, but that's fine. It doesn't hurt anything. So you can use those 2 for the next one. But for now, we're going to use this guy. The back already came off of this one. Ooh, we do not want the top to come off yet. But it, actually, the way I'm going to do it doesn't really matter if that comes off. So I'm just eyeballing this, making sure it's not showing through the cardstock there. They do give you some room for that, so that's nice. It's not just right on, you know, the very edge. You have a little space for that, so there we go. I'm going to leave that carrier sheet as much as I can on there, but I'm going to do a little bit differently than the instructions, so it doesn't quite matter if it does come off. And then I'll take one of the backings off. And again, just eyeballing. And before I really push it down, just making sure it's not going to be visible from the other side. And if you want to turn over and look, you can see that you don't see any of the adhesive, so that's great. Okay, so next step is to die cut our confetti. That's step number 5. And again, I'm going to switch out my green paper for a different green, but all this entails here is taking our little confetti die, and I usually just run it through once or twice with each color. And then I'll leave the confetti like on here or put it somewhere like that whenever I cut it out. So I'm going to run it through here, and then run it through the different green I'm going to bring in just a second. And I'll be right back. I'll just cutting this last piece. I just want to show you how I just kind of let them collect in something like a paper or something else that's going to help you kind of funnel them. Take all the little pieces out. And I do want to show you. I know whenever I've done confetti before in other videos, people say, oh, you can use those little backgrounds because it'll always pop out a little something like this. Like to make like a little quilt card or something else, but you have these little pieces. So, pretty cute. You can use them or not use them or however, stencil with them. All right, I'm going to pop these out and I'll be right back. Okay, so we have our card base, we have our other piece here, our card topper, and we have our little confettis. And I just ran it through once each one, but you can do more obviously. And I think what I'm going to do is also add in a little bit of white sequins. Why not? Actually, I'll do that when I get to this. Okay, so I just want to show you here on this next thing. Oh, I'm like, where are my instructions? They're right in front of me. To assemble the card, they're saying to go ahead and put your confetti in here and then get this on top of it, but I just feel like that's gonna be a little difficult for me to do because I just wouldn't be able to bullseye it that way. So what I'm gonna do is pour a little bit here. Maybe more of that purple, just in the top area, general area, and then put some of this down here. If you want to tape your card base down, you can definitely do that so it doesn't move too much. You know, maybe that's what I'll do. Where is my low tack tape? And since we're not really going to like put any pressure on this, you can just put your tape down. It's not going to hurt anything. I'll just put it like right here, mostly on here, some on the card, just to help me hold it down. Oopsie, there we go. All right, I will push down a little bit. All right, there we go. And then I was going to use a little bit of the confetti too. Oh, it's coming out of the back little hole. There we go. And I'm just putting in the general vicinity. We will see when I get closer, when I bring this closer, where exactly it's going to be. Not too bad. Put it up there and put this a little bit lower. Kind of flatten it out too. A lot of times if you build up a little mound and you put your paper on it, it'll want to just stay there because the mound is like keeping it tight, you know. So just kind of spread out a little bit. There we go. So cute. Okay. And you don't even have to do this all at once. Like if I take that off and I'm paying attention, I can see that I can work on the top one. Not quite squeeze it down yet because I like to do that at the very end, and then take off the bottom one. Okay, that's just how I did it. But again, you know, the instructions say you can put your sequins in and then, or your confetti in, and then turn it over. You know what I'm saying? Or put this on top of it. I just am not that good. So there we go. Now, my plan was to put a little bit more adhesive under this part, and I forgot about that. But it's okay. It looks like it's holding up. But if you wanted to put some dimensional adhesive under there, I would have just taken the whole square. You know, this whole square that was in here, and just had adhered it, and that way it would just keep it up. But that's up to you. Of course, I'm saying this would be under here. Boop, boop, boop. Like that. Obviously stuck down. Okay, so let's think about what we want to do for our decoration. I'll be right back. So we're absolutely, of course, using the rainbow. So what I'm going to do is put this to the side. I am going to use a little stamp positioner just to make sure that I get exactly where I want. And I am going to tape this down because the stamp positioner is not the most functional. So I'm just going to tape this down just so it doesn't move. And there and there. And I'm going to take this guy. I'll do the, I think I'm just going to do this. We'll see what else. I'm going to give it some room. And I'm going to, hopefully, I want to bring in more of the, like, blue and purple and those kind of things. So I think I'm going to go from red to yellow. I put these away already for some reason. Red, yellow, blue, purple. You know, so the other colors will kind of come in because it's what it is, but we'll see. So I'm just going to go around the edges with the red and get a little yellow kind of towards the center. A little bit of blue. And a little bit of purple. And then if I have to do this again, I'm going to do it again. It's just kind of artsy. Give it a little breath, just in case. I can tell I'm gonna do it again. Oh, it looks very tie-dye. Okay, I'm gonna do it again. And then just stamp it right on top. A little red. Did I use the orange? No. Yellow, blue. It's very artsy. Oh, so cute. Okay, and I'll do the same thing just to stamp our blue. Where is that little guy? This little guy. I'm going to stamp him on here just in case, because it is a full coverage, you know, stamp, and I'm using these distress inks, and they're kind of persnickety here, so I'm just going to use this guy. I'm going to stamp it. Oh, it's kind of cute. He's a little bit rough, kind of looking like that, but I'm going to do it again. And there's still some green in here from mixing the yellow in. It looks kind of cool. Oh, okay, I think that's good. Let me clean up and I'll be right back. Okay. Let's get this going. And I can just eyeball these. Cut that out and cut this one out. Just tape it down and run them through. And I'll be right back. Oh, so cute. We got these little guys. Something like that. Cute. Okay. And then, you know, we have all these other little pieces, like the little banner. We can do, you know, like, you're amazing, you did it, hip hip, wishing you, well, not in this one, because celebrate you, hooray, but that's like more of a birthday thing. Hey, birthday, just a note to say. And then we have these little hearts. So I think what I'm going to do is cut out a couple of hearts. We can also, let me see here. Yeah, I think I'm just going to cut out the hearts from like a blue, purple, and maybe one of the other colors. I'll be right back. Okay, I have my little hearts cut, and then I went ahead and stamped just the You're Amazing in orange just to bring some more of the color out. And I'll just run this through real quickly. With this guy, and you can kind of see what you're doing here, so I'm just going to eyeball that one. I'll run through our little tag, and we'll just layer everything up, and I'll be right back. Okay, I have all my little pieces here. I'm just trying to see what it is I want to do. I'll probably just layer this up some way. So that's it, guys. There's so much we can do with this. So many fun ways to play with it. Put this maybe out this way more. And then I think I'm going to put some dimensional adhesive behind that part. Like that. And tuck this in here somewhere. And put the little hearts in here and there. That'd be cute. Something like that. And maybe popped out that last one. Alright guys, thanks for watching. So yeah, make sure to check out Beth later tonight on Diamond Press's Facebook Live, and thank you guys so much for the sweet comments. Everyone's just super excited about tonight. So keep an eye out. I'll have the links as they become available, but basically when you go to My Diamond Press, you'll see everything new there. And I think they even have a section that says like February 17th, new releases or something. So you can jump right to it. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll have all the info in the description box along with the VCDP code. And I will see you guys at the next one. Bye now.